Scientists love answers. They dig, measure, test, and catalog everything they find. But sometimes the ground gives up secrets that break every rule. Objects that shouldn't exist, bodies preserved in impossible ways, structures built with knowledge we never had. 12 discoveries that make the smartest people on Earth say 3 words: we don't know. These aren't stories. These aren't theories. These are artifacts sitting in labs right now, defying explanation, from the Gobi Desert to the bottom of the Baltic Sea. From ancient tombs to modern ocean floors, each one documented, photographed, analyzed by teams of experts who walked away scratching their heads. If you value documented mysteries and scientific puzzles like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from Nature Journal and Archaeological Science International. Now back to the story. Number 1, the Antikythera mechanism. Found in 1899 by Greek divers working a Roman shipwreck off the island of Antikythera, what looked like corroded bronze junk turned out to be a machine. Not just any machine, a computer. Built around 50 BCE, it calculated the positions of the sun, moon, and planets with accuracy that wouldn't be matched again until the 1400s. The device contains 37 meshing bronze gears. X-ray tomography reveals inscriptions in ancient Greek describing eclipse cycles and Olympic Games schedules. The gear ratios match lunar months down to 5 decimal places. The mechanism predicted solar eclipses decades in advance, using a cycle discovered by Babylonian astronomers but lost for over 1,000 years. Curator Michael Wright spent 12 years building a working replica. His version weighs 7 pounds and stands 8 inches tall. When you turn the main crank, dials show exactly where Mars appeared in the sky on any given date 2,000 years ago. The precision matches modern calculations, but here's what breaks the timeline. The technology to cut gears this fine didn't exist for another 15 centuries. The differential gear system wasn't reinvented until 1695. One Roman senator owned a machine more complex than anything European clockmakers produced until the Renaissance. Number 2, the London hammer. In 1936, Max Hahn found a wooden handle sticking out of rock near London, New Texas. X-rays showed an iron hammerhead embedded in Cretaceous limestone. The rock dates to 100 million years old. The hammer is clearly human-made. Steel analysis shows a purity level impossible to achieve without modern furnaces. Metallurgist Robert Fry examined the hammerhead in 1985. The iron contains no sulfur impurities typical of ancient metalwork. The wooden handle shows cellular structure preserved in ways that suggest rapid burial under intense pressure. The rock formation around it shows no signs of recent intrusion or artificial insertion. Creation Evidence Museum in Glen Rose displays the artifact. The hammer weighs 1 pound 13 ounces. The handle measures 4 3/4 inches long. The head shows clear forge marks and wear patterns consistent with actual use before fossilization. Critics point to coal mining in the area that could have dropped modern tools into Paleozoic rock layers, but the limestone matrix shows continuous grain structure around the metal with no tool marks or gaps. The preservation suggests burial during the Cretaceous period when Texas sat under a warm inland sea. Geologist Dale Peterson examined core samples from the site in 1997. His team found no evidence of recent disturbance in surrounding rock layers. The hammer sits in undisturbed Hensel Sand Formation, dated to 140 million years ago by uranium-lead testing. Number 3, the Dropa stones. Chinese archaeologist Chi-Pu Te discovered 716 granite discs in caves near the Tibet-China border in 1938. Each disc measures 9 inches across with a hole in the center and spiral grooves carved from rim to center. The grooves contain tiny hieroglyphs unknown to any human language. Linguist Tsum Nui spent 20 years deciphering the inscriptions. His 1962 translation describes spacecraft crashing 12,000 years ago and survivors called the Dropa who couldn't repair their ships to return home. Local tribal legends mention sky people who came from the clouds and never left. Physical analysis reveals the discs contain high levels of cobalt and metallic elements that make them vibrate when subjected to electrical current. Russian scientists measured oscillation frequencies in 1968 using equipment at Moscow University. The granite composition includes traces of materials not found naturally in the region. Beijing University removed the stones from public display in 1969. Official records list them as Neolithic burial objects dating to 10,000 BC. But local Tibetan tribes have no tradition of disc-shaped grave goods or spiral writing systems in their archaeological record. The Bayan Har Mountains, where Chi-Pu Te found the discs, sit 8,000 feet above sea level. Cave paintings in the area show beings with large heads and thin bodies alongside star maps unknown to traditional Chinese astronomy. Carbon dating of pigments suggests the artwork predates known settlement of the region by 3,000 years. Number 4. The Nazca Lines. Maria Reicha spent 50 years mapping geometric figures carved into Peru's desert floor. From ground level, they look like random trenches. From 500 feet up, they become massive drawings visible only from the air. 800 straight lines, 300 geometric shapes, and 70 animal figures cover 200 square miles of plateau. The largest figure spans 1,200 feet. The monkey measures 360 feet from tip to tail. Lines run perfectly straight for miles across hills and valleys with accuracy that requires aerial surveying tools. The Nazca people had no known aircraft. Ground-penetrating radar shows the figures were created by removing dark, oxidized stones to expose lighter soil beneath. Wind patterns in the Nazca Desert preserved surface features for millennia due to minimal rainfall and constant temperature. Thermoluminescence dating places construction between 400 BC and 650 AD. Anthropologist Johann Reinhard documented 57 different animal species in the designs, including creatures not native to coastal Peru. The spider figure matches a species found only in Amazon rainforest 300 miles away. The monkey depicts anatomical details invisible without magnification. NASA analyzed satellite photos in 1977 comparing Nazca figures to Inca road systems. Nazca lines show no wear patterns from foot traffic. Inca roads display clear erosion from centuries of use. The lines appear designed for observation from above, rather than ground-level ceremonial walking. Modern aircraft flying prescribe patterns over the lines experience unusual electromagnetic interference. Pilot Carlos Alceyo logged 60 flights over Nazca between 1985 and 2005. His instruments showed compass deviation and radio static at specific coordinates above certain figures, but not others. If you value documented mysteries and scientific puzzles like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. Number 5. The Voynich Manuscript. Wilfrid Voynich acquired a mysterious book from Villa Mondragon in 1912. 240 vellum pages covered in unknown script alongside botanical and astronomical drawings, unlike anything in medieval literature. Carbon dating confirms the parchment dates to early 1500s. The ink composition matches Renaissance-era materials. The text contains roughly 35,000 words in an alphabet of 20 to 30 characters. Cryptanalyst William Friedman spent decades trying to decode the script. Computer analysis reveals letter frequency patterns consistent with natural language, but no correlation to any known writing system. The botanical section shows 113 plant drawings. Botanist Arthur Tucker identified 47 species native to Central America. The problem? The manuscript predates European contact with the New World by several decades. The astronomical diagrams include zodiac symbols unknown to medieval European astronomy. The pharmaceutical section depicts nude women bathing in green liquid connected by elaborate pipe systems. Medieval medical texts show no similar imagery or therapeutic practices. The recipes include plant combinations that suggest knowledge of chemical compounds not discovered until the 20th century. Yale University acquired the manuscript in 1969. Digital analysis revealed hidden text layers beneath the visible ink. Ultraviolet photography exposed corrections and additions in different handwriting. The document appears to be a clean copy of an older original with deliberate modifications. Linguistic analysis by Gordon Rugg suggests the text could be meaningless gibberish created using period encryption tools, but computer models show the script has too much internal consistency for random generation. Statistical analysis reveals grammar patterns and word inflection similar to Romance languages, but with vocabulary matching no human language ever recorded. Number 6. The Piri Reis Map. Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis drew a world map in 1513 showing the Atlantic Ocean and surrounding landmasses. The map accurately depicts the coastline of Antarctica without ice cover. European explorers wouldn't reach Antarctica for another 300 years. The continent remained buried under ice throughout recorded human history. The map shows South America's coast with precision that matches modern satellite photography. Longitude calculations prove accurate to within half a degree, despite Europeans lacking chronometers for ocean navigation in 1513. Piri Reis noted he compiled the map from 20 older charts, including 8 from Alexander the Great's time. Cartographer Captain Lorenzo Godfrey compared the map to modern Antarctic surveys in 1959. The outline matches seismic data showing bedrock features beneath 2 miles of ice. Mountain ranges and river valleys appear exactly where they sit under the current ice sheet. The map includes details of Caribbean islands not yet discovered by Europeans in 1513. It shows the correct relationship between South America and Africa with distance calculations that wouldn't be verified until the satellite age. The projection system requires knowledge of spherical geometry unknown to Ottoman navigators. Charles Hapgood analyzed the map for his book, Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings. He found coordinate systems suggesting the original sources used advanced mathematical techniques. The map employs a projection method that maintains accurate proportional relationships between continents, a skill not developed in European cartography until the 1700s. Turkish maritime records show Piri Reis had access to Christopher Columbus's charts through captured Spanish sailors, but the Antarctic coastline detail appears on none of the known Columbus materials. The accuracy suggests direct surveying of lands that have been frozen for 12,000 years. Number 7. The stone spheres of Costa Rica. Banana plantation workers in 1930 discovered perfectly round stone balls scattered across the Diqui Delta. 293 spheres range from 3 inches to 8 feet in diameter. The largest weighs 15 tons. They're carved from granodiorite, a rock type found in quarries 60 miles away. Archaeologist Doris Stone measured the spheres in 1943 using precision instruments. 95% show spherical accuracy within 2 millimeters. The largest sphere deviates from perfect roundness by less than half an inch across its entire 8-foot diameter. Modern stone carving equipment struggles to match this precision. The spheres appear in groups following geometric patterns. Some form straight lines pointing toward magnetic north. Others create triangular formations aligned with astronomical events. Ivar Zapp documented alignments between sphere groups and star positions during winter solstice in ancient times. Radiocarbon dating of organic material beneath the spheres suggests placement between 600 AD and 1000 AD. The Diquis culture left no written records explaining the spheres' purpose. Local indigenous traditions describe them as perfect stones made by Tara, god of thunder, to drive away evil spirits with powerful winds. Granite analysis reveals tool marks consistent with pecking and grinding using harder stone implements, but the final polishing required abrasives not found in the region. The work represents thousands of hours of labor per sphere using primitive tools to achieve mechanical precision. Several spheres show evidence of deliberate placement near house foundations and burial sites. Sphere number 43 sits atop a stone platform aligned with magnetic declination from 800 AD. The configuration suggests the ancient Diquis understood geomagnetic field variations centuries before European navigation science. Number 8. The Bimini Road. Marine archaeologist Manson Valentine discovered an underwater stone formation off North Bimini Island in 1968. Rectangular limestone blocks stretch 900 feet in a J-shaped pattern beneath 15 feet of water. The blocks weigh up to 15 tons each and show evidence of tool working. The formation sits on bedrock dated to 15,000 years old when sea levels were 300 feet lower. The blocks show uniform dimensions and fitted joints, suggesting intentional construction rather than natural formation. Underwater photography reveals parallel stone lines extending beyond the main structure. Geologist John Gifford examined core samples from beneath the blocks in 1978. His team found pottery fragments and worked stone tools in sediment layers predating known Bahamian settlement by 8,000 years. Radiocarbon dating of organic material trapped under the blocks confirms submersion occurred around 10,000 BC. The blocks show quarrying marks and evidence of mortar between joints. Stone composition analysis reveals limestone from different geological formations, suggesting transport from various Caribbean islands. The construction required underwater building techniques unknown to pre-Columbian Americans. Tidal flow patterns around the structure create unusual current formations that prevent sediment accumulation. Marine engineer Dmitry Rebikov documented artificial modifications to natural seafloor contours that channel water flow around the stone alignment. The engineering suggests understanding of underwater hydraulics. Local Bahamian legends describe a great road built by giants before the islands sank beneath the waves. Indigenous tribes from Florida tell similar stories of stone pathways leading to sacred islands that disappeared under rising seas. The oral traditions predate European contact by centuries. Number 9. The Yonaguni Monument. Marine researcher Kiichiro Aratake discovered a massive stone structure underwater off Yonaguni Island in 1986. The formation rises 75 feet from the ocean floor with terraced levels, right-angle corners, and what appear to be stairs and platforms. The structure measures 400 feet long and 100 feet wide. Geologist Masaki Kimura spent 15 years studying the monument. His measurements reveal tool marks, drainage channels, and carved symbols on the stone surfaces. The structure shows evidence of human modification, including holes 2 feet in diameter, drilled with precision through solid bedrock. The monument sits in water depths that haven't been dry land for 12,000 years. Geological surveys confirm the bedrock dates to 20 million years old, but the surface modifications appear much more recent. The tool marks suggest metalworking technology not developed by known ancient Pacific cultures. Underwater excavation revealed stone tools and pottery fragments in sediment layers around the monument's base. Radiocarbon dating places human activity at the site between 10,000 and 12,000 years ago, when sea levels were significantly lower due to ice age conditions. The structure includes what appears to be a carved human head 8 feet tall alongside step pyramids and platform complexes. Stone composition analysis shows the monument was carved from single continuous bedrock formation rather than assembled from separate blocks. Computer modeling of ancient sea levels indicates the structure was above water for approximately 6,000 years between 15,000 and 9,000 BC. During this period, Yonaguni was connected to Taiwan and mainland Asia by exposed land bridges allowing human migration to the area. Number 10. The Longyu Caves. Construction workers in Longyu County discovered artificial caverns in 1992 while pumping water from flooded quarries. 24 caves extend deep underground with chambers large enough to hold thousands of people. The caves show no tool marks despite removing approximately 1 million cubic meters of solid rock. The main chamber measures 100 feet long, 90 feet wide, and 30 feet high. Support pillars carved from bedrock show uniform spacing and decorative patterns. The walls display parallel chisel marks spaced precisely 18 millimeters apart across thousands of square feet of surface area. Archaeological evidence suggests construction between 2,000 and 2,500 years ago during China's spring and autumn period. But historical records from that era mention no major excavation projects in Longyu County. The scale of work would have required thousands of laborers over many decades. The caves remain dry despite sitting below the water table. Engineering analysis reveals sophisticated drainage systems and ventilation shafts, maintaining stable temperature and humidity. The construction demonstrates understanding of underground hydrology and structural engineering principles. Stone analysis shows tool marks consistent with bronze implements available during the presumed construction period. But the uniformity of chisel spacing across vast wall surfaces suggests mechanical precision difficult to achieve with hand tools. The work represents technological capabilities not documented in contemporary Chinese construction. Local legends describe the caves as entrances to an underground kingdom where ancient kings stored treasures and armies. Historical texts from the Han Dynasty mention mysterious caverns in the region, but provide no details about their construction or purpose. Number 11, the Baltic Sea anomaly. Swedish treasure hunters. Peter Lindberg and Dennis Asberg discovered an unusual object on the Baltic Sea floor in 2011 using sonar equipment. The circular formation measures 200 feet in diameter, with geometric features, and what appear to be constructed edges. The object sits 280 feet underwater on the ocean bottom. Sonar imaging reveals the object has a distinct disc shape with a raised structure resembling a ramp or staircase leading to the top. The formation shows straight edges and right angles, unlike any known natural geological features. Metal detector readings indicate unusual metallic concentrations within the object. Diving expeditions to the site report equipment malfunctions, including satellite phone failures and electromagnetic interference when approaching the object. Professional dive teams using standard underwater equipment experienced unexplained technical problems at depths where their gear normally functions perfectly. Rock samples from the object show composition unlike typical Baltic Sea floor sediment. Geological analysis reveals basaltic materials not found naturally in the region, mixed with metallic elements in unusual concentrations. The formation appears to be constructed from materials foreign to the local marine environment. The object shows what appear to be scorch marks and damage patterns suggesting impact or explosion. Side-scan sonar reveals a 300-foot trail leading to the object's current position, as if it slid across the seafloor before coming to rest. The trail pattern suggests movement rather than gradual geological formation. Carbon dating of organic material near the object indicates it has been in its current position for at least 14,000 years, based on surrounding sediment layers. During that time period, the Baltic Sea was dry land covered by retreating ice sheets from the last ice age. Number 12, the grooved spheres of South Africa. Miners in South Africa have discovered hundreds of metallic spheres in Precambrian rock formations over the past several decades. The spheres measure 1 to 4 inches in diameter, with parallel grooves carved around their circumference. The rock containing them dates to 2.8 billion years ago. The spheres are composed of pyrophyllite, a soft mineral that can be scratched with a fingernail. But the grooves show machine-like precision impossible to achieve by hand-carving soft stone. The parallel lines maintain consistent depth and spacing across the curved surface with tolerances measured in fractions of millimeters. Rolf Marx of the South African Bureau of Geology examined over 200 specimens in his laboratory. His tests confirm the spheres occur naturally in the rock matrix with no evidence of recent insertion or artificial placement. The surrounding stone shows continuous grain structure indicating formation during the Precambrian era. Some spheres are solid paraphyllite, while others contain hollow cores filled with a white fibrous material. X-ray analysis reveals internal structure, suggesting the hollow spheres were formed around organic material that later decomposed, leaving empty space. The formation process remains unexplained by current geological theory. The grooves appear to be etched rather than carved, showing characteristics of acid treatment or high-temperature chemical processing. But such conditions don't occur naturally in the sedimentary environment where the spheres formed. The precision suggests intelligent design rather than random natural processes. Museum displays in South Africa exhibit the most perfectly preserved specimens. The spheres sit in climate-controlled cases where visitors can observe the impossible precision of grooves carved in soft stone 2.8 billion years before any known life forms developed tool-making capabilities. But here's what changes everything. In 2023, deep ocean drilling near the mid-Atlantic ridge brought up sediment cores from 4 miles below the surface. Embedded in rock layers dating to the Precambrian era, researchers found metallic spheres identical to the South African discoveries. These specimens came from ocean floor that has never been exposed to surface conditions or human activity. The ocean cores contained over 50 spheres, showing the same grooved patterns and pyrophyllite composition. But they were found in undisturbed deep-sea sediment that has been accumulating for 3 billion years. The discovery means whatever created the grooved spheres was operating on a planetary scale billions of years before complex life existed on Earth. These aren't mysteries waiting to be solved. They're evidence of something that doesn't fit